Hello and good evening, everyone. So this is Changing the Narrative. My name is Amponsa, and today I'm here with Victoria. She is online, but I'm gonna give us a head start. So invite all your friends, families, colleagues, your network, sister, brother, who would benefit from this conversation. So it's going to be a conversation of everything and anything to do with Chevening. However, because this year's application or last year's application for this year's intake for summer or September is already done, and people are looking for or towards their Chevening interview, I thought we would just concentrate on the interviews. So if you have any question, this will be the great time to ask. And before we start, I'll give us a few minutes for us to share the link to our various friends and platforms. We are on live on YouTube as well. So thank you all for joining. I'll share the YouTube link now as well as so that for people that are not on LinkedIn can watch on YouTube. So again, my name is Afua, and I do this. Changing the Narrative is more of scholarships, anything and everything to do with study abroad. I bring on guests who have been there, done that, and then to share their stories, how they got there, what they did differently as compared to others, and then how to advise various people on our platform in terms of helping each other out on applications. So today we will be doing the same with our guest. So what is Chevening? Chevening is basically a fully funded opportunity for UK students, or no, to study in the UK, not for UK students, for international students to study in the UK. That's what I meant. And for me personally, I think it's one of the best ones out there in terms of studying in the UK. I might be biased, but I think it is compared to other scholarships out there that I've seen. And it's actually quite straightforward to apply if you do your homework well, and if you know you're going to study in the UK and you're looking for a scholarship and you're considering Chevening, and say you're in your third year or your second year, this is the time to sort of look at what they're looking for, like who can apply, in terms of who can apply, why Chevening and that, and start making those decisions now, so you stand a better chance at getting it, or even not just Chevening, any other scholarship for that matter. So today we're going to talk about Chevening. So Chevening is a scholarship which enables international students to study in the UK. It's fully funded with flights, accommodation, and courses fees are all included, so that you can just focus basically on your studies. And that's what fully funded applications or scholarships are all about. And what I also like about Chevening is the fact that these universities do not, some might require application fees, but most do not require application fees. Hello, Victoria. Great to have you. So I'm just basically just talking about Chevening and why I feel it's one of the best ones out there. But obviously, because you're a recipient and now an alumni, you would agree with me. So we're going to be a little bit biased today because we're talking strictly on Chevening. So without wasting much more time, since we have our guest here, we might as well get her to start by introducing herself. She says she just introduced her as Victoria, but there's more to that name than just Victoria. So Victoria, welcome to Changing the Narrative, one mindset, one individual at a time. We basically just have guests on and we talk about everything and anything to do with international students, applying for scholarships, what to do, where to look at, people sharing their stories. So today, thank you for taking or accepting the opportunity, and also accepting our invitation to come and talk to us mainly about the interview. However, we will also be willing and open ears to hear your Chevening journey and how far you've come with the Chevening application. So yeah, so if you can introduce yourself to us as to who Victoria is, that would be great.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Can you hear me, Afua?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay. Thank you very much, Afua, for the opportunity to be here. Hello, everyone, and thank you very much for joining us this evening. Afua has already introduced me. I don't know what she wants me to say again, but hello, my name is Victoria. As she mentioned, an alumni of Chevening Scholarship, and I did study children, youth, and international development. It's based because of the experience that I did have in that space. So I wanted to really enhance that, and also more like and understand what practicality what how these concepts came about when it comes to children, youth, and international development. So anything that has to do with that, definitely you can link up, and then we can have more conversation around it. Aside that, I also do a bit on some kind of engagement or interviews with other young people, just to also understand their realities and their story behind the things that they do. So I'm really happy to be here, and thank you very much again, Afua. If there's any other question, I'm really happy to answer that. Over to you.
Thank you. Yeah, she says she's just Victoria, but obviously now we know she does more than just being Victoria. So thanks for that great introduction. So if you can, if let's, I don't want us to just go straight into the interview or the Chevening. So tell us how and why you chose Chevening. So why and how? Two questions.
um, how or why and how? I'll try and answer to my best of knowledge. So how and why? How did it all start? I think the Chevening, as we all know, is very like a very big and prestigious scholarship. And I've had a lot of friends, like other colleagues, not really necessarily friends, but even colleagues afar that I do admire. And then, sometimes they post about themselves and you're really intrigued and you're like, whoa, this is a big scholarship. This is a huge scholarship. And you wonder when you would get to that point. So I've watched a lot of people go through the scholarship, get those scholarship. And every time I had the mentality that this is a no-go area, Victoria. You have your boundaries, and I mean, you know the limits, so don't even try going there. So that's how it all started. And then one time there was just this spike in me that, oh, you can apply for this scholarship. I'm like, no. I fought with myself for like some time just to come to terms that I can't apply for the scholarship because I knew it was for some category of people. And because of the trend, you see, and there's a number of thousands of people did apply for, and they will just pick like one, they'll just pick like two. I didn't want to be part of those that will say that we are not picking or we are not selecting you. So, when there are things for you and there are things not for you. So you just even want to go it. You just even want to go there. But I did it, I give it a shot. And that's how I got into Chevening. The bit on why. One, because I also wanted to test the waters to see that I can really get into the scholarship. And the fact that not just about testing the water, but also the opportunity that came with getting the scholarship, the access to the alumni network, the fact that you could also inspire other young people who you work with and who have also seen you grow within the space of children and youth development. The fact that you can also use your creativity or enhance what you have already learned. And also the fact that most of the course that I wanted to do I think it was just like UK running that particular course, like having a combination because children is like a huge concept. Youth is a huge concept. International development is a huge concept on its own. And then in the UK, there were just two schools that were actually running. And I ended up getting just one school. One school had to drop down, and then one school had to take it up and all of that. So I would say that the experience that came with it, the nurturing, the resources that you have access to, and also the kind of the prestige, the leverage Chevening also gives you, also kind of encouraged me to go for it. And the fact that I was also inspired, like I mentioned from the beginning, I was inspired from the people who I watched from afar who got the scholarship, and I said, okay, I said to myself that if they've been able to do it, then I can also try it. Like just try at least. If let it not be said that I didn't try. At least let me try and say that okay, I tried and I didn't get through, or I tried and I got it. But in my mind, I knew that I wanted to apply and I didn't apply. I'm not sure I'll be here. So that kind of motivation also got me going. And then I had another alumni who kind of encouraged me when I said to him, it's like a mentor to him, when I said to him, he said, like, Victoria, I know you can get it. And so that spike, enabled me to really apply for the scholarship. Yes.
Wow, that's an amazing journey. And again, this is why we do what we do. For you to come on to share that you even had the fear to do it. The thing is, when people see your profile, right, and they feel like you just said, those people that you've seen, you're like, oh, this is too much for me. It's too big for me. And there you are, you did it, and you got it. So imagine if you never had even applied for it, you probably wouldn't be here being my guest, and for others to listen in. So this is to tell us that until you do it, you will never know. Until you do it, you never know. And this is one thing that changing the narrative continuously and consistently hammers on. It doesn't matter how many times you get your nose. It doesn't matter if you don't meet all the criteria. It doesn't matter if you're not ready this year. The thing is, if you don't try it, you will never know. And until you do it, you never know. And it hurts more when you still don't know, than
Yeah.
you doing it and knowing that at least you tried. So it's good you did try, and congratulations on your graduation from Brunel University. You got high merits, which is really good. So congratulations to you once again, and being a Chevening scholar. So to those that have joined us on YouTube and on LinkedIn, kindly share the link for others to listen in. This is going to be very educative, considering that Victoria is a current one. So you see people that have done it 5 years, 6 years ago, even 3 years ago. I know the whole application has not changed much, but for someone who just did it like a year ago, the knowledge is fresher and would get like a current insight to what to expect. So I would say, if you're considering, or even if you've not considered Chevening, this is the time to do it. And this interview, or this event, will be it's not an interview, by the way. I mean, the event on the interview would be a great one for you to listen in and know how to prepare, at least, or if you want to consider it, how to prepare. So share the link to others to join in. And those that have joined in, thank you very much. If you have any questions, kindly engage in the comment section, because that's the only way we will know who's joined. And because with videos or live events, you can only see the number of people that have joined, but you won't be able to see the names. So it's not like the audio ones. So kindly engage in the comment section, say hello, say hi, put all your questions in there, and our guest will be happy to answer it. And with my little knowledge as well, I will chip in here and there, but mine will probably be a generic one of Chevening as a whole, or studying in the UK. So thank you very much. Let's get into Chevening. So I have seen applications, especially with the US and the UK, a little bit about Canada, but with the UK, Chevening is quite straightforward, from my opinion. I think the questions are straightforward, that if you're considering it, you can easily put yourself, if you prepare properly, just like any other thing, you can, prepare yourself to stand a good chance at even getting picked to get to the interview stage. So share with us how you managed to get your application to stand out.
Hmm. Um, I don't know how I managed to get my application to stand up, but I think that it's all start from actually preparing ahead, because if you intend to apply for the scholarship, I think that you need to put in the work from, like, I don't know how many months, but it depending on how, I mean, we all know our style, there are some people who might be easy to work with deadlines and feel like, okay, even if it is the next month, I can put in something great. Some of us know ourselves that will take some time before we are able to, bring all those ideas together. So I feel like it starts from preparing ahead. And mind you, everything I'm sharing is just as my own personal experience, like Afua said, and not really representing Chevening or the British High Commission. It's my own experience as an alumni. Start preparation. If you intend to do the application, maybe the year or next year, like for example, because now it is close, I think you need to start now. It might seem, oh, it's too far off, like, oh, let's give it some time. Like it's next, I think it's this year, November or so. They're opening again, September, November, yes. So it's even late to start, but it's fine. Still you have time. Like there's some 3 months or 4 months that you can prepare ahead. And like she said, the questions are straight off. You have 4 categories of questions. Identify the things you have done in line with those questions. Be more specific. Add, for me, it was about being specific with the things, identifying the examples, that things that I had already done, the practical things I had already done, and trying to explain it for them to understand it. Because you might have the idea and not be able to better explain what you have done. So, trying to really explain for them to understand, and also be more of me. So if it has to do with the leadership, what are the things that I did in leadership? Identify maybe 3 things. Now try to explain it. How did I even do it? Where did I even do it? What were the actions I did, or I took? What were the results? So really explaining it even within that, because you are quite limited with the number of words you can write. So that's why I'm saying that you can limit yourself to two practical things, to 3 things, because Chevening, they are looking for change makers. They are looking for people who are already in the community, who are already in the society doing an amazing thing. And sometimes we feel that we need to have like a special example. No, you do not. Even the fact that you help build a school, even the fact that you volunteered for an organization, even gives you that leverage of being a leader, because leaders build, leaders solve problems, leaders engage, they partner. So all these things are areas that you can look at, and then write those examples down so you are more specific on them. And then I didn't start writing off my essays at a goal, like at a sitting. Maybe I think of one example, I put it together, maybe under networking, I put my example down. The next day I give myself timeline. The next day I think of another example, I put it down, because you might feel the tension of, I need to put everything together. No, 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 no. Just relax. Don't give yourself so much pressure. Just relax, calm down, and do it one step at a time. You can divide the questions and say that for 3 days or for the next week, I'm going to tackle the question on leadership. For the other next week, I'm going to tackle the question on network. And the time I kept writing, there were so many nice ideas that started coming in. But because I'd possibly written it, I just want to write those ideas under and see how I best either to integrate it or to take the other ones out. So that was how my preparation was in putting together a very I would say a good essay, and for you to also be counted as a scholar. So just tell your story, and I think you are the best person to tell your story. Nobody will tell your story for you. So tell your story in a way that they would understand. be practical as possible. Not just leadership is about that. Showcase how you have used that leadership skills in your community. How have you used your networking skills in the community? I think we were running some engagement with some of the potential scholars, and I was telling them that you just don't say that I'm a leader. What shows you a leader? How do you show it? So that was how I showcased that in my essay, by identifying the key things I had already done and explaining it in a way that will be able to better understand what I had done or get the message I was trying to communicate. And I was very practical. I showed more of the result oriented, work. The numbers were more inclusive, the examples where, what, just for them to really understand what you have done. Yeah.
I like how you said it's not just about what leadership is. Then you can just Google that, and then everybody can write about it. So the essay is not like a generic essay. It's more about you. And I, with every application, adapt the storytelling. Like you said, nobody can tell your story better than you can. And I always tell people, it's all good if you want to pay somebody to do it for you, but the fact that you're considering that, for me, means you're not ready for graduate school. Because graduate school is a lot of writing, there's a lot of critical thinking. And if you
Mhm.
cannot critically talk about your own story, then that alone means
Yeah.
you're not ready for graduate school.
Yeah.
So, and it's not, I think sometimes we overthink these things. And it's all good when we are having this sort of conversation and you say it, but sometimes when I sit down to write something about myself, I actually overthink it. I feel like there's something they're looking for until I break it down
Mhm.
and say, this is me, this is what I've done. And by the time you realize, it just flows,
Yeah.
especially when you're being truthful and you're not
Yeah.
telling lies. When you're being
Yeah.
truthful and being very like raw, or as in what you've done, it flows.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
if you're thinking of you're over the words, it doesn't sound right. This is where you get somebody to read it, somebody, proofread it, um give yourself time. So it opens on in August, and you have till November. That's when it closes. So you have, if you're considering it, you have now till November really
To
to
put in
start.
some very good work, like,
Exactly.
it helps, like, it's because now I will also go back to the point on knowing your style.
Mm,
Some of us can't work under pressure, so if you know
mhm,
that that is the kind of person you are, you start early. Some people are very good in working under pressure. Pressure is everywhere, you identify it everywhere. But sometimes the feeling of you're not prepared comes in when you don't start early, because
mhm,
now you then be wanting to rush off and now asking for people, can you help me? It's good to do something. When you were going, one thing I got a feedback from one of my mentors is that I don't always go there asking, like, can you help me? I go with something. So it's very important for you to start very early, so that at least you can show working, if I should
mhm,
put it,
mhm,
show some sort of working, that this is what I have been able to do. Can you read through for me? At least that starting early helps you also identify who is within the space. Because I also got someone to proofread my essay for me, and I was very open, like, I had it from like different I was very open because I had started early. I was open to their feedback, and
mhm.
some of them, their feedback were okay. Some of them too were like, it's fine, but it's all for the good of the work. You need to get something good for
Yeah.
yourself. That needs to see, like, can you even do when before we'll go to the interview bit. But what I'm trying to say is that starting early helps you, because it
Yeah.
helps you break it down. Like I said, the 1 week you can give it for leadership. What are the areas? So it can just be, oh, sweeping or helping partner with maybe the community for cleaning. That could be the theme. Now, what did you do under sweeping the community? How did it start? Oh, I remember that there was some communal labor be some time ago, Saturday, and then I joined. Oh, there were a number of people, about 200 people joined together, and we swept the whole community, we tidy up, and then after that, we even educated the people on communal, cleaning or something like that. You
Hmm.
have gotten a very like a full story now.
Yes.
So
Yes.
breaking down, identifying the themes, and that is a you do something like mind maps, like you are trying to identify and connect where the
Hmm.
dots are.
Hmm.
But if you don't start like that, it's quite difficult to put together your essay. So I would always go for breaking it down. What did you do? If it is internship, oh, internship. Oh, I remembered I did an internship with Ifua's group. What did I do for Ifua? Oh, I was the one putting together, connecting with the resource persons. I was the one sending emails, and through
Hmm.
that, we got more than 5 people to participate in the interviews, and then it resulted in training about 100 young people in the space of application and da 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 da. You have a story.
You have a
But
story.
if you don't start by breaking it down, you feel like you want to merge everything together.
Hmm.
That is where the commotion starts. That is where the like you now running around to say, I want to do this. How do you and I feel like also that in terms of preparation and putting together, you need to also read.
Hmm.
Go to the platform, go to the page. I get a lot of people, and it is not a bad thing. I know that sometimes we're all curious and want to know a lot of things. It's fine. I guess sometimes people coming to you and then they're asking, what is chevening? What is chevening? Like, what is chevening? And
Hmm.
it's not bad to ask that question, what is chevening? But I think that for as someone who wants to apply, you should have done some research about what chevening is, what they do, what they are in for. So that when you meet someone or someone is in a space and you can ask them like very targeted question. Oh, I read this and that. Can you
Specific.
explain?
Specific.
But you are now applying for it, you're now asking me like, what is chevening? Who is Chivney looking for? It's a very good question. I'm not saying your question is bad. It's a very good question. But honestly, I feel like we should also take the time to read. Read what is on the platform. Read. There's a lot of resource available. There are a
Mhm.
lot of segmented areas where you can go. They tell you even about each story, what you need. People have done videos. Read. Like I had to watch videos. I continue to read. If I don't understand something, I go back to the platform and I read. And then I go back to someone who is there. I said, I read this. I don't really understand. What does it say? Like, help me out. It's not bad. So I feel like you also need to read.
Mm.
Read as much as possible. And that could also help you put together a very good essay. Yeah.
I could not agree with you less. Some people like I use my page to post opportunities, and me that I'm not looking for the opportunity, I'm going to read and I've summarized it on my page for you. And somebody will come and ask, "What is this about?" And I said that I was like, "Jesus, take the wheels," because come on, that I've shared the link with you. I've actually linked it. The least you can do is to click that link and go and read it and come back with a specific question. And sometimes, even if when you do take your time to go and read it, you realize that you probably find the answers on that page if you take your time to do the research. And again, this is what graduate school is all about. Nobody tells you, you go and find the question, the answers. So for you to even, and this, I don't know.
No,
I
if why
guess,
you should understand because you have read it. So they want to understand from your point of view.
so how did I know? If I not read it, how would I know?
No, you've read it. It's good when people sharing is caring. So it's good when they come to you and they're like, what is this scholarship you've posted? You that what is this? I understand them. I understand.
Okay, well, sometimes see, it's not like we don't want to help, but
That's the
it
thing.
has to be specific. Then I know you're serious. At least you've gone to read something, and then now I know, oh, this is a person who's going to do their research, and they just need a little push. Because if I'm not to sit there, I will charge you. I've decided this year, if I'm to start from the top to the bottom with you, I will. In fact, I will charge you to the extent that you realize that I'm charging you, and now you have to go and do the reading yourself. If I'm to
Mm,
do
mm,
everything for you, I'm not,
mm.
this year. Trust me, I'm going.
We'll
Anyway,
make
that's just like her. No, but if you can't even read this, you've studied in the UK. How much reading did you have to do? Every week. You see, right now, my reading is piling up. I'm not. I'm not even halfway through this one webinar. This is one lecture that I've not, the rest are still there waiting. And this is just
Mm,
1 week of reading. So
mm,
imagine a whole year, and this is just one module. So if you can't just do one reading for
mm.
an application, this is what I keep telling people. Then you're either not ready for graduate school, or you're going to struggle when you get here. The
Yeah.
whole process. Don't despise the process. And this is
Mm.
us telling you from a very loving place.
Heart.
You
Mm-hmm.
understand? It's to get you prepared for what graduate school is even about. I
Mm-hmm.
get too emotional when we start talking about these things. But again, the people that I've worked with,
Mm,
it's not like I just left. Some people I had to let go, because I can't come and be taking mental health problems for your
mm,
own
mm,
graduate application. I
mm,
can't. You
mm,
understand?
mm.
So if you really need people to mentor you, people to help you through the process, you need to apply yourself as well. It's that simple, especially when people are genuinely ready to help you out.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
there's loads of them on LinkedIn, but it's still the same over and over again. Do your own research. Come with specific questions, and everybody and anybody would be willing to help you, right? But
Yeah.
if you come and you don't, like you're saying, what is Chevening is good, but you could just Google that instead of coming to ask me or Victoria. That's all we're saying. If ChatGPT can give you that answer, come with specific one. Oh, so I read this, like you said, I read this, and this is how I understood it. Is it right? Then I
Mm-hmm.
know we have something to talk about, and
Yeah.
I will be willing. I'll be willing to really have this conversation with you. And also, there are loads of young people out there who are in their second year, third year, even fourth year.
Mm,
If you really want to do, or you're considering studying abroad, this is the time for you to look into, is it USA that you want to go? Is it UK? Is it Canada? Or even if you don't know, start asking yourself, what do I really want to do in the future? Where do I see myself? And when you break it down, like Victoria mentioned, it will actually give you a step towards what to plan. And this is where
mm-hmm.
you create your smarter goals, and then you end up not being all over the place. You have a year or two to then build yourself up to a certain, you can never be fully ready, but at least you can give it a head start, right? And this is why AAA Foundation is there. We have a lot of young people, and we're giving them the opportunity to, for all of us to make mistakes, to learn from each other, to contribute to the community, make impact. You can ask the team. A lot of the time, I just step back and then watch them,
Mm.
because that's the only time you can critically think, you can critically analyze yourself. This is where you have the space to be a leader, to make decisions. And this is what a lot of these scholarship bodies are looking for. The fact that you've been in a space where you've grown, you've failed, you've made an impact, you've contributed to the SDGs. And if there's something that you can even start yourself, even if it's just one person that you impacted, they want to see that you've done something.
Yeah.
It's not like you've impacted 2,000 people. That's not what they're looking for. It could be even you,
Mm-hmm.
it could start with you. So don't overthink it. It's it starts with not overthinking it, but it starts with you starting, at least with a research on what you want to do. Thank you.
Yeah.
So Victoria, let's go. Let's get into the interview. So I know people who, like, would write the scholarship essays, the SOPs. They'll do all that they can. They've done it. They've been there. They've done it. And then it comes to the interview, and they panic. So I mean, throughout the process, is panicking. I can tell you that is you will panic through the process. It's just like every time I have to write an essay or sit an exam for my modules, I panic throughout. Even though I did it last time, I've probably in a year I would say I have like 6 8 modules, but I panic through every single module. So it's the same thing with the process. I don't know about you, but I'm speaking for myself, or when during my MBA studies. So now, right? you've done everything, you've come to the interview. People do panic. How do you prepare for the interview?
Hmm. I think similar to the preparation for writing your essays is the same preparation you do for the interview. So those that have had the opportunity to maybe touch a bit of lives and like do run an interview with them and all of that, we do it as if it's the day. So I one of the things that I always say is that we want to understand more the lovely person behind the story that you have told us on paper. So it's just about you showcasing what you have said on the paper. And I also feel that is more of like what you have already done. And so just be calm about it. Don't be a bit anxious. I know the anxiety comes, but calm yourself. They just want to understand or just want to know more. Let me just say it this way. They want to know more of the person behind the essay they have read. So when you go and they ask you, why Chevening? Why, what was the spark behind the application? What interested you or what ignited that interest for you to apply for Chevening? So it's just going to tell them that interest. What was that, fire in within you? Tell them that when they ask you, why do you want to study in the UK? Why did you even start the application in the first place? So that as well as your school, who is doing what in your school? Why that even that course? So even they ask you why the UK, you can talk about the UK school education, the course model you want to study. Can even talk about who is teaching what. So all these things, it's just telling them the reason for putting the application in the first place. That's how you should see the interview. It's not a place for you to go and panic. I know how it is. Like you're going to have something you've never done before. Sometimes even if you've done before, the greatest public speakers would always tell you that there's always what we call the stage and fright, and you would always experience it. So even the greatest ones even experience it. So it's just understanding from this point of view. It's just they knowing you more beyond the paper, right? Showcasing who you are to them. So you need to really, you can go back to the things you have written. You remember how you were able to break down the things you have done. Just go back to them. And then when we're talking about the essays, how you put the essays together, you remember how you said, oh, I joined this group, this number of people came in. That's how you go with the interview. So you use the star approach. So you talk about the situation. When I ask you why Chevening, you just don't tell me, oh, because Chevening will give me a scholarship or blah, 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 blah. You tell them, you use the star approach, right? You talk about the situation, you talk about the task, you talk about the action, you talk about the results, so you always try to integrate that so that they understand from your point of view, oh, you have done your research, oh, you know what you're talking about. So it's the mindset of this is what I have done on paper, but this is here, me in the individual who has done the work. This is me telling you what I have done. So that is just the interview. So go there using the star approach. Tell them, be confident about what you are talking about, and prepare. In preparation, you can have a test run with people who have done that before, or you can ask people. Genuinely, when I was going for my interview, I think I did. I wouldn't lie. I think I did about, if I'm not mistaken, I think I did about the first interview I did was with my mentor who is doing something different from the space. She was doing human centered design. Although I was doing some course under human centered because I was doing an internship with them. But I wanted to also get from her point of view what she thinks. So that was my first interview. I did a test run with her. And then her feedback were very useful to me as well. And then I did another, I think I did like three different, and then another, I think about five or so test run, just to understand and what is happening. Sometimes I join. There were, I think during my time, they used to have those smaller groups that they used to prepare together before they go for the interview. So I remember when you've been listening to people like they ask them the question, the way they are answering the question, like, did you even prepare? Like, are you sure you even prepare? But honestly, those served as a motivation. Don't feel like that. I know sometimes you might feel like that. Like, are you sure this scholarship we're all going to be applying for the same scholarship? Don't be scared. I always tell people, do not be scared. Tell them what you have done. tell them what you have done, and that is what they want to understand. So you can have a test run. You can have people like do you like general things like interview me on Chevening. You can also watch some YouTube videos on how they went about. Also use I would say be more of I don't want to say circumspect, but be careful also on the things, because sometimes it can be a bit overwhelming with a different experiences coming from different people and all of that. Sometimes you just have to sieve in and know what to take in and what not to, So also just read more on the website, watch interviews, join test run if possible, if you can get access to that. But if you can't, you can ask your people, someone you know who is maybe ahead of you, just for them to do that with you. What else in terms of your preparation for the interview? I just feel like just be present, and like we said from the beginning, if you read and you wrote the essays from like you wrote your own essay, any question that comes from Chevening, I feel like you should be better positioned to answer it, because then it's like just they will not ask you anything beyond the areas of focus. They will not ask you anything beyond. Sometimes I tell people they might ask you follow-up questions, but it's just also to understand the kind of impact you have done, and also to really understand the things you were doing. So the follow-up questions might be the ones that, oh, what would you have done differently? That one might be, but it's still in line with the things you tell them. So it's about you being present, making that reading, and always answering your questions using the star approach. Give them a situation, the task, some things you did, your action, your results. Make it more integrated so that they get a better picture of what you want to communicate to them. Yeah.
That's very great advice. And the star approach, to be honest, you can't go wrong in your, even in answering your essay questions. You
Mm-hmm.
can't go wrong. Last year, I during the Chevening application period, I went through it on my page with every question on how to apply or use the star approach. And again, if you're able to master the star approach, you can use it in every and any interview, to be honest. And it guides you so you're not all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody might be saying, how would I sit at an interview and be thinking of a star approach? Like Victoria said, if you do a rehearsal, a practice, and practice and practice, chances of it becoming second nature is very easy. You understand? It it will guide you not to, because the thing is, sometimes at interview, if you're not careful, you will talk plenty, but you've not said anything.
It's
And
true.
and before you know, you've run out of time, because mind you, they've got other people to interview as well. So don't go and be talking plenty and you've not said anything. So the style approach is actually to help you, tailor your answer, specific, straightforward, straight to the point, and it will save you, it will help you save energy as well and overthinking
Mm,
it. So yeah, that's great advice.
mm,
So thank you for all that are still with us. I don't know, Christian is laughing probably when I was going off tangent and just complaining as usual. Um, David says hello for Victoria. Hello, David. And I've posted out a lot of links from the Chevening website, the resource hub, the interview guidance, and also Chevening as a whole, like what the whole Chevening application and the whole scholarship body, what is all about, the application timeline as well. So go through it. If you're considering it this year and you feel like you're not ready, you know what? I will still say go for it, because you can still apply it next year anyway. But take yourself through the process. You never know, especially if you meet some of the criteria, and you can always work towards it. So I would say give it a go. Like go for it.
yeah.
Again, you never know.
You
Trust
cannot
me.
tick all the boxes when it comes to the
Exactly.
criteria. I mean, if you have the main things like they
Mhm,
are asking you should have completed your bachelor's degree,
mhm.
you have your certificates, there are some things that you can just not to forgo them, but give it a shot, like FY is saying. So just put in the application anyway. You
Yeah,
never know that this could be your time, but just start early. That's what we are all saying. Yeah.
yeah. So now we're in March. Okay, let's say we're in April. We're almost in April. So you got 9 days, 31 days, isn't it? So 9 days, right? So 9 days to read, go and read. 9 days, go and read about Chevening, and then start to plan your timelines. That's if you're looking to study in the UK, or if
Mm,
you're looking to, um, you know, study abroad. Try with Chevening. Let Chevening be like a practice grounds for you. For example, let's just say, right? And then at least you know what these universities look for, what these scholarships look for. Because aside Chevening, you have the schools to also contend
that's
with,
all. Mm.
you know. And now, if you come and ask me about Chevening, right? And let's say I'm in a good mood. I've tell you everything. You don't even need to go and read. Guess what? You have to go and read about your schools. You have to research on your schools.
Yeah.
What are they asking for? What do you need? This is why you cannot not read. Why don't you even want to read when you want to do graduate school? Please go and read.
No, but you cannot overemphasize what you're saying. Like it's very
Trust
important.
me, I'm
Yeah,
laughing, but
it's
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 because people
very
don't love
true.
to read.
It's
Go
very
and
true. You need
read.
to read. You really need to. And like you said, I've had when I went to school, I was with one of the scholars who I think that was the eighth time that she's actually applied for the scholarship. My
Wow.
friend, that was the eighth time she's applied for it. And she said to herself, "The scholarship, I must get it. Like I must get it." And she actually like I was asking like, "Ola, did you put in the work every year? Like, did you consistently do this for 8 times? Like, did you do?" And that's the story of most people, you know.
Wow.
One other scholar was telling me, I think that's his third time, and he was telling me that like this is my third time of doing the application, and I'm like, sometimes when you join in there, people are telling this my this time, and you're like, what is your times to,
Yeah.
doing that, doing the application. But that does not say that they didn't do the work or anything. No, it just shows you kind of the perseverance
Mm,
and the fact that they still needed to do. Maybe you have done everything right, but maybe one minor thing is, oh, you are
mhm,
not taking you. But the fact that they persevered, irrespective of the number of times they were rejected, irrespective of the number of times. Maybe you might be very lucky, and they were all very lucky actually. You might do the one thing like I did one, and then you possibly get it. But if it has to do with doing it, maybe you are not too prepared this year, you go through everything and you don't successfully get it. Next year you can do again, you can
mhm,
apply again. It shouldn't end there and say that because I applied for the first time I didn't get it, that's it. No, apply so far as it's a scholarship you want to have. I don't think the nose should prevent you from going again. People have done it several times. People have done it 3 times. People have done it 4 times. People have done it 5 times. You know, just prepare ahead and do it. No
yeah.
matter how difficult it is, you can actually do it. So, I don't think what is. I don't think. I don't know what's holding you, and not allowing you to do it. Just do it. Yeah, read and just do it. Yeah.
Saying that, there's actually two people. I mean, there are many of them on LinkedIn, but there are two people that I've actually had. One was my first ever guest, Dr. Oluwaseun Ajayi. And his journey is brutal.
Mm,
Like when he said, even during his PhD as well, like his journey is brutal. Like the number of no's he got, and the fact that he still kept applying. still kept trying. And now he's like, I think he's a dad scholar, a Commonwealth scholar. Like, it's
All the scholarships.
yes, all because he's a lecturer now and he's still getting no's.
No, but how would you know? But F1 does the no ends, like does it ever end?
Exactly.
It's not going to end. Even if you finish your masters and you feel like, oh, you are applying for a PhD because you've already been in the system and you
Mm,
the no's will come. You might even want to do another masters and the no's will still come. But that sometimes I feel that sometimes we take it too personal. When
mm,
people say no to you, we
mm,
take it too personal that, oh, you don't know anything. That's why you're getting no, you alone, you have a curse on you. The
mm-mm.
curse has been broken already in Jesus'
Yes.
name. All
Amen.
you need to do is just to forge ahead. The no's will definitely come.
That's it.
The no's will definitely come. Recently I put in some application, I was if I was bounced, but we move.
We
I
move
would say
exactly.
I would say because a whole you say let's say you say a whole chief this scholar alumni alumni you're bound like you might think okay when you get to that certain stage or a certain level no
Mm,
my people no it's going to come but is that I feel like it's a deeper sense
mm,
of I'm willing to do it again.
mhm,
This is what I want, and I will continue to do it until I get it right.
mm.
So, this is not about motivational speaking.
No,
It's
this is
about
reality. This is real life. We are very
it's
serious
real
here.
life. It's real life. Like being alive with yourself. Ask the most successful people you see on social media come and share. That recently I was talking with one of my friends. She's gone through successfully gone through another phase of scholarship. So doing some test run and having a conversation. I was telling you, I said, this is a part that people will not see. The fact
Mm.
that you don't
Preach
sleep.
it. Preach it.
the fact
Preach it.
the fact that you don't sleep, the fact that you sleep around 2 a.m. and you have to be up
Mm,
by 5 or 6 a.m. because you are putting an application, the fact that you are calling people and say that, would you want to have a test run with me? The fact that you are asking, can you have a look at this essay? This is the part that people don't see it. They don't see it. So they feel like if I apply for the first time and I don't get it, then there is I told you the case has been broken.
mm,
It is the work you put in, people. The work you put in. I remember when I was applying, my office could. I don't know if anyone is doing, but my office could attest. Like I leave the office sometimes around 10 p.m., sometimes
mm,
around 11 p.m. You get home and you're not sleeping because you've scheduled an interview with someone who you want
mm,
the person to run through it with you. The next moment you have to be at office by 6:37. Like
mm,
that's the kind of sacrifice you have to do because you know where you were going or you know what you wanted. So I feel that if it's something you want to do, like give it your all. After all, what would happen if you tried? Like,
mm.
let it not be said that you didn't try. Let it be said that at least I did it and I didn't get it. At least you tried, you went through the process.
Yes.
And the fact that you even go through the process is even something, a learning curve. You
Mm,
learn some one or two things. Maybe you might not get Chevening, but maybe you might get a DAT scholarship.
yep.
But the process of Chevening, I was recently telling someone that I applied. Chevening is on my first application.
Mm.
I don't want to mention because those people, they've hurt my heart. So I don't want to mention their names. It's my I went through the process, Afua. I went through the process. I was happy because at every stage, so you've proceeded, do this, bring that, Afua. Like you know how a sister will be. I'm excited because I was getting nearer to the process. Those people, it's okay. I won't say anything to them, but I was getting nearer and nearer to the application. I'm like, no, Victoria, you can't get it. And at that time, my mentors were like, oh, Victoria, you are getting the scholarship. You are getting the scholarship.
Sometimes your eyes will see Kena. In fact, you're smelling Kena.
Just like Moses did. Moses was going to stand at the island. So Canaan, God said, Moses, you're not getting Canaan. Go and die. Like, go and die. That was what happened to me, Afua. Like I went like every hour. I remember how I was going to GIG left and right for him because they were asking for things. I was giving it back to them. Only for one time being at the office and then thank you very much, Victoria. Quaynor, that nice email. Thank you very much for your effort. Despite your commitment, despite the things we have read, your high rank with whatever they mentioned, your my transcript and everything. Unfortunately, we can't carry. Why are you telling me now? What did you tell you when I started the application? Why are you telling me now? I was broken. I was
Mm,
really broken. I shared this story with one person there recently. I said, I was broken. It's not like I didn't, I went through the process. And even the reference and everything, those were giving you, sometimes the people who give you reference and all, it all counts. I was like, God, the work I put in, I was broken. I
mm,
was broken. I didn't even think I would even apply for any other scholarship because I put in my all. But I feel like sometimes the timing too happens. I didn't
mm.
get that scholarship, but that didn't leave me there. I had to apply for this scholarship and thankfully I got it.
Yeah.
It wiped away that tears of having to feel the fact that I didn't get through that scholarship and I came in here. So the point of it all is that apply. Maybe you might not get this one. Try other means, try other scholarships. Chevening is good to get, but it doesn't mean that if you don't get it, that's the end of it. Try it again. Try other means too. You never know.
Mm. Yes.
Never know.
Yes. So you see, now this is the beauty of it. Now you're sharing your story, and we can laugh about it. I know you couldn't laugh then; it wasn't funny then,
It wasn't
but
funny for it was tears. It was tears. Like you see me and I'm crying. Like you see me, I'm walking, I'm crying deep within me. Like the pain. The pain. The pain was intense, man. The pain was intense.
this is this is the process that we always talk about. Like again, Victoria, you've been through the UK education system. I think it was today, to be honest, where I was having this conversation with someone. I said, in fact, these assignments I don't even get. There was one assignment, that was the assignment that in fact, I would say I removed my hat to write this assignment. I'll come from work. I will not answer anybody's text message or phone call. I won't even check my phone. I will be eating and reading.
Mhm.
In fact, I enjoyed that module that I wrote that assignment. For this lecture to come and just give me anyhow marks. Hey,
It happens. It really happens, Afua. It really
so
happens.
the point that I'm trying to make is this process of
Mm,
scholarship, of the application, it will get you ready for the Shege graduate school would also put
yeah.
you.
Yes.
And this is, see, I can't, like, we sit here, we have this conversation, we laugh about it, but it it's it is the reality we're telling you.
Mm.
In fact, I wrote an email to I said, how can you give me this marks? And he said, this is a high merit. I said, that's not the point. The essay that I wrote,
It
the essay
doesn't
that I
qualify for
put in
highway. It's
was
small.
not the merit effort that I put. How can you tell me this?
It's the critique for me, like the way they yeah, it's sometimes a bit I mean, there's nothing. I mean, like if you want, don't go, don't awaken things that I'm trying to let them lie. It's difficult sometimes. Like you write, and sometimes someone feels like I'm not. It's not about being a perfectionist or anything. It's the kind of process you have to go through for even in school. So
Mhm.
sometimes when you write, you have to read
Yes.
and read and read through it. And someone's like, just submit it. You finished it. I said, no, we can't submit it like
Mm.
that. You
Yes.
cannot. Because the
Mm.
fact that you submit and someone thinks that you didn't answer them. Meanwhile, in your best of your ability, you've answered it. And you should be getting a good grade, a good result. But I think from what you're saying, Efwa, it's also about if you didn't go through this process,
You won't understand
it
you
will
won't get
break
it.
you. It will break
Yes.
you.
And you know what? I can't keep every each and every one of my guests. You see, the process is not there to just frustrate you for the sake of it. And this is why I will keep saying it. I will keep saying it because I've been through the UK system, right?
Mm,
And from primary school, high school, secondary school, A levels, undergrad,
mm,
and now I'm doing my graduate school and other stuff, right? The thing is, it's I'm trying to compare it to Ghana if I can remember a little bit of my Ghana education. It's not your true poor pass and forget. It doesn't work. It's
no.
it doesn't work. It doesn't
Mm.
work. And it's just like the graduate, like when you're doing your applications, you're not chewing and pouring and passing anything here. You have to apply yourself to the whole process.
Mm.
And if you're able to I would say master that or enjoy the process. It's the word here is enjoy, not master. Enjoy the process. Cry when you have to, laugh
Mm-hmm.
when you have to, roll your eyes when you have to. And trust me, when you do get your yes, and I know you're going to get it if you don't give up, and you now start your degree, you realize that okay, some of the things that I was able to acquire during the
Mm-hmm.
whole application process. You can use that skill to actually help you with your with your graduate study life.
Yeah.
And even being in the UK, life in the UK can sometimes punish you in as much as your education is also punishing you. So like so this is why I always say to people, engage with the process. Don't try to fast track anything. Don't try to like jump hoops and loops and follow this one and follow that one, listen to this one. By the time you realize you will lose.
Hello.
uh, yes, Victoria, can you hear me? Okay, we've lost Victoria, but I'm sure she'll come back. um
I'm
yeah.
sorry. I think a call keeps.
That's fine. Yeah. Yeah, so the whole process, the interview process, the application process, either with the scholarship or the school itself, don't
Mm.
take yourself out of it. And like Victoria said, it's you see now, it gets to a point where I'm like, me here, a from Ponsa, a whole child of God, me here as I sit here, how can you reject me? Yeah, you didn't reject me. Oh, it's the application. I probably didn't spell something right, or I didn't write the English for you to understand. You understand? How can you reject me? Oh, me. You know, for me to be saying this is because I've gone through processes
Mm.
for me to understand, you know. So, that's what I mean by sometimes you will roll your eyes, sometimes you want to still fight, sometimes, and it's all part of it. In fact, the essay that I wrote in an email for that lecturer, I don't think how can you do this? If I wanted to cry, you understand? How can you do this?
Yeah.
But again, this is part of so in your application when you feel like you did all your best, believe it when I tell you that you come in, you write the best exams or the best essay you think this is a distinction. In fact, you've even broken the exams record. You come and it's a it's 2-2.
It's not, I have the high, I say that I have the high merits there because, I did even after my masters, I had done all the things, and when you are supposed to, when you get a distinction for your project work and everything, like, and you've done very good in it, automatically you should get your distinction. You should get distinction, graduate to the distinction. I've gotten my distinction in my project work, the last part of it, AA and everything. Only for me to come and I saw that I'm not going to see the station. I said, sorry, I can't see you. Like, I'm not understanding the system. Maybe the system is not understanding you, but I'm not understanding the system. I am not talking about this. So, I said to I wrote to my professor, I said, sorry, ma, I don't think I'm understanding the system. What is happening? Said, oh, the way they calculate it and everything. He said, oh, you were just left with like one or something, point one to get like at this. I said, no, point five, point
21.
five, point five. He said, point five. And I said, okay, if it's point five, I remember some time ago, you guys threw my one away. I don't understand how you threw that one. I'm the one to let me guess my distance. No, this was one of the things that paid my I said point five. I said, what is point five? Where did the point five miss? I'm like, why am I missing out on point five? Okay, I said, if that is what you are bringing out, you remember some time ago, you guys, how, I don't know how they, how to explain the grading system for you to understand. But I have that email to this day. Like, if it was some guys, I would have showed you that email. My heart. I said, what is that? 0.5. What is you threw my one away? And
Give
that
my one
was the
away.
last time the one you threw away. Give me my
Give
distance.
my one away.
So
Give me the
sometimes
one that you threw away back.
hey, give me my distinction. She said, oh, you did very well. You had high merit. What is high
So
merit? That's what I want.
that's what we are
That
talking
is what
about.
I want. That's what it, that's
Exactly.
exactly that's what I want. But if you have it on the grading system, the students when they get like distinction in their thesis and everything, they are getting a distinction, automatically a distinction. You've done and my nothing showed I had like any people. If I let's leave it there, it's okay. Let's move on.
So
Let's move on.
this is what we're saying. Now, Victoria has gone through the whole process, and now we're laughing now, but this is what we mean when we say don't take yourself away from the process. It will prepare you for the graduate journey as well.
Mm.
When you feel like you've written the best SOP, the best what motivational letter there is. In fact, they've even thrown your one away.
My one away. Everyone now, it looks like you're teasing me now. It doesn't look
No,
like
no,
you're
no,
saying that thing.
no, 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 no,
Everyone,
no.
you're teasing me that they've
No,
threw
no,
my
no, no,
one
no, no.
away. It's serious, Efwa.
How can I do that to my guest?
They didn't do well. Though. That people.
I will write. In fact, I will make an appeal for you so they can give you your one back. How can you throw somebody one away? No, but you see, we're laughing about it, but this is the reality on the ground, right? And whenever those that have worked with me, right? Sometimes I'm brutal like that, like I'm direct like that, because the UK system, it's not just the UK system. It's a like overseas. It can be brutal like that, where it's just like it's just a plain no. Sometimes too, they will write you a nice email. You're reading, and you're like, so you wrote all of this just to say no. Why didn't you start from the no from the top?
Yeah.
I'm good. You did well, but unfortunately, please, you should have started with the unfortunately and saved me
Exactly.
all the heart attack. That's now you are telling me it's like being in a 5-year relationship that didn't end in marriage, and now you're broken up. Anyway, that's just by the way. Okay, so
The numbers you are dialing, these numbers you are dialing this evening. Be careful.
hey, I'm enjoying this conversation. This is changing the narrative. I'm a phone concern. I'm here with Victoria. We're talking about Chevening and um and the whole studying abroad process. It can be a very unfriendly world out there when it comes to applications, interviews. We're laughing about it now. We're sharing, what some tough times, but now we can laugh about it. But all the reason behind it is that it's part of the process. It's to prepare you. And when you finish your graduate school as well, you have to face the job market. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter if you went to the best school in the UK, you came out with the best result. You have to face another process of the job market. So you see, it's never ending. Like I was saying with Dr. Ajayi, he's he's a lecturer, and you know what? He's got a lot of experience behind him, and he's still getting notes to conferences and that. And sometimes, like I say, it gets to a point. It's for me personally in life. That's not to say that the notes that I'm getting it doesn't hurt me sometimes. Of course it does. I'm human,
Mhm.
but I've learned to say it's my application that got rejected. If you can't reject me in Jesus' name, hey, a whole child of God, you can't. I rebuke you for rejecting me. You rejected my application, and that's fine. But again, that is part of life. And Victoria said something. She mentioned the timing. Sometimes it's just the timing. There could be application process where it's a tough process or the number of people or the caliber of people that have applied that year probably might have, like Victoria said, 0.5. Maybe you were so close to it, but somebody just beat you with a 0.5 mark. That being the fact that they probably did something just slightly higher or more than you did. And this is basically why they chose that person. It doesn't mean you're bad, you didn't do well, you're this, you're that. No. And I always tell people to learn to, it takes time. It takes time to take yourself from the application. And you're saying, how can you tell me to tell my story and take myself away from the application? Because if not, you probably would lose the focus, your mission, the passion, if you don't learn that, if that makes sense. So there's to all the young ones out there looking to do international, study abroad in graduate school. It might be a rough road. It could be, it might be, it will be, but it's all part of the process to get you ready for the graduate school itself, the course that you're going to study. Even the people that they will put you in a teamwork with. I'll give you an example when we were put in a team. You know how you are studying, your lectures are in the evening. You're already tired before you go to lectures. This person did not come to any of our group meeting and showed up, I think 2 or 3 days for us to submit the application, the coursework, the group work. What am I even saying? And then just came and bombastic side eye.
I understand the reaction.
It's like, are you for real? Like
Yeah.
2 or 3 why did you even bother? And then that this was as I when the Holy Spirit just holds your mouth, because I was ready to just fire, but I didn't fire. I just fired again. Some of the process will actually get you ready for these last minute stuff, even working in a group with different sort of characters. So these are the people you probably meet in your interviews. So the whole process, all that we're trying to say is the whole process will get you ready for your graduate school. So don't be disheartened. Victoria is here. She's laughing at all her no's. Laughing at her all her knows. So guess what? You won't be alone. Continue. So thanks for joining, Edna, Solomon, Aiden, Priscilla, Christian Naidu, Samuel. I see a lot of laughing emojis. I guess you're enjoying our conversation. Thank you all for joining. And if you have any questions, let us put it in there. I've not seen any questions. That means we're doing a great job. Everybody is. That's how I see. If there's no question, that means we've done a
The
great
teacher
job.
has taught well. The teacher has taught
Yes,
well.
exactly.
Oh, you didn't understand the teacher the whole show.
Don't forget that's your own problem of the whole show. Don't go and watch the whole lectures again, and then you
The whole
understand it.
show.
The whole show you're by yourself. So yeah, let's I've enjoyed this conversation. I've really enjoyed it. So let's get back to interview. So the preparation and everything, right? Say even on the Chevening website, it actually give you the guidance. And one thing that I would say is, if you did not lie in your application, you have nothing to worry about in the interview. Because guess what? Whatever that you've written in your application is what the interview is going to be based on. Correct me if I'm
Yeah, no, honestly, that's the truth. Like, they will not ask you anything outside the key areas that you are focused on, and the key areas is one, the leadership, networking, career plans and goals, and then the last one, why do you want to study in the UK, which would comprise of your school. It would comprise of the things you want to see. If you are Arsenal fan, you are a Manchester fan, you are, all those interesting things you would want to include in that particular essay. So all the interview questions are really centered around these four areas. So, I mean, definitely, they're not going to ask you what is net. Of course, networking, you will understand. Even meeting two people, it's quite easier
Mm.
to understand. But they will pose the question in more like a story form, or tell us
Mm.
a time where you use your networking to bring about development or change in your community. That
Mm.
is asking you to demonstrate, just beyond the understanding of what networking is, to practicalizing what networking means and how you've utilized it. So if I mean, the people I run it, I tell them, you can't just tell me you've networked with the president of the Republic of Ghana, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, and so you have a network. You've met the flag bearer, you've met this, you've met the chief of staff, you have all the nice people. That is great, wonderful, hooray! But the point is that how has that network brought
Mm.
about change within the community? Because, mind you, when you are answering the question, you are answering the question based on the point of you being a change maker. So you might have all the degree, you might know the president or Barack Obama, you might know everybody, but how have you utilized that network to bring about that change? So, for example, it could be that, oh, because as a result of knowing the President John Dramani Mahama, you working on an education where you're helping building school, you spoke to the president about it, and the president supported with some sort of funds, and then you were able to erect like 5-story building school for children within Sasara community, and through that about 600 school students having enrolled in the school, and that has also increased retention of these students. That's a
Mm.
perfect example of how
Mm.
networking has been utilized in the community. So you have even showcased the situation. Children in Sasara don't have a school. They had to walk 16 kilometers to Anaguru community to go to school. This brings about most school dropouts, teenage
Mm.
pregnancy, the fact that they are not even safe, because having to walk 16 kilometers in and out of school is not a joke, man.
Mhm.
So you've demonstrated the situation of what is happening. Hence, based on your network with His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, you were able to secure funds where you were able to now erect a 5-story building in Sasara community. And that
Wow.
5-story building has benefited about 600 young people within the Sasara community. Not just there,
Mm.
but through that, these children have been enrolled in school, and then they are now going to school and has improved their performance. So
Wow.
you're not just
Mm.
telling us they have
Mm.
enrolled in school. As a result of their enrollment, what has happened? Are they still
Mm.
going to school? Has it improved their education system? Do children in Sasara now feel more confident enough to go to
Yeah.
school? Do children in Sasara, teenage pregnancy been reduced as a result of going to school? So all these questions, you realize that you're answering just one question, but you
Mm.
are dissecting it in a way that they will better understand. Okay, you've seen some sort of result, you've used your network well. And so, meaning that even if you go to the UK and you have a sense of going to other places, you're meeting people and all of that, you are still bringing that wealth of knowledge, that wealth of
Mm.
network to still improve your community. So, that's just about, I was just trying to say something off my mind about
But that's
how,
a good example. That's
how
a
to
really good example.
exactly how to answer those questions around networking. They can ask you about leadership. How have you demonstrated leadership in bringing about trust? How have you demonstrated leadership in bringing about development? What are some of the areas? You talk about your leadership skills. One of the things you realize as a leader is that you just don't have to be, giving people maybe direction on that is not what true leadership means to you. For you, true leadership means a sense of empathy, and through that, being born from a community of Nanguru. I don't know where these names are coming from, but when they say Nanguru, you realize that Nanguru didn't have maybe water to drink.
Mm,
And someone who really empathized, water is life, water is everything. And the World Health Organization has even said that you cannot stay without, you're bringing in statistics, you are
mm,
demonstrate. It's demonstration. So don't go expecting that what is, they won't ask you what is question.
mm,
Even if they do what I doubt they would ask you what is question. More of like demonstration. So that is where the things you have read, the things you have done,
mm,
because you were able to demonstrate it on paper, it really helps you. And I was telling someone that even if you go to the interview, one of the things I know, like even if you go to interview, is where you have to, like, there was this book called Justify Your Inclusion. You have
mm,
gotten to you are just close, you are Jordan, you're almost getting to the land of Canaan, right?
mm,
But you need to step into the water for them to see that, oh, you can actually cross this river. That is like the
mm.
last to go through to go to Canaan. That's the mindset. You've gotten to justify why you need to be selected. They've shortlisted you, now justify it. So this is the
Wow.
point where you need to, as an individual, bring in all the critical, like the mindset. I tell people that if you go to a place and they even ask you a question that maybe you've not prepared for the question, remember what you have as an individual. I am an international development maybe practitioner. I am a children and youth engagement. I'm a safeguarding person for children, something like that. Remember, even if you don't have an answer to it, remember what you are made of, what you have, what skill
Mm,
do you have at that point. International development. How can you tweak the question to put in international, because that's the safest place you can answer, so
mm,
that you don't have to stress over and say, hey, question, I didn't prepare for it, or I'm not ready. No, tweak it to the point where you have upper hand or stronger hold, and then answer it in that light. You realize that when you bring it down to that place, it makes it more easier for you to flow naturally,
mm,
rather than having to think that, oh, hey, this question, oh, you people, I didn't prepare for it. You can't do that. Like, you cannot do it,
mm.
because if they're reading as you were sitting down, your mannerism, the way you are able to, because all these things are critical thinking,
Mm,
being able to think on your feet, like I know sometimes it comes off, it's not easy for all of us, yes, I understand, but always remember what you are made of. If you're an accountant, we try to bring in maybe financial literacy, answer the question in financial literacy way, so that you not bring the question to yourself, so you feel confident
mm,
enough to answer it.
mm,
They might ask you about globally. Globally, I didn't prepare for globally, but I prepared for who I am already. That is, I have the
mm,
skills of communication. I'm a communications person. I am an international development person. I will try to bring that question about the global to the international development space. What is currently happening in the international development space? What am I seeing when it comes to safeguarding for children? When it comes to safeguarding for youth? What is happening? What are the current policies? What are the laws within the space? And then you are able to answer the question within that. So it helps you
mm,
have upper hand and not feel like, I didn't prepare for the question. You can't tell them, oh, I'm sorry, I don't have an idea. You don't have an idea for what? You have an idea. You have a lot of ideas. It's that you have not been able to understand how to bring those
no.
ideas to light,
Mm,
and that is the issue. So that's something I would say, like, don't prepare yourself for what is question. Prepare
okay.
yourself for demonstrating, and always remember where your expertise is, or yeah, your expertise is, and then use, when they ask you this question, bring it back to your expertise, and
Mm.
be able to answer the question. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. That's you've in fact I don't need to say more. Samuel says, wow, good point. Yes, I'm intrigued. This is our guest Victoria, and from all the submissions, you can tell she's well versed in that. She's been through the process, she's applied that process, and from what she's saying, it's not a textbook answer. I do not give my guest a pre-planned questions. I don't do that. The questions are like a follow-on questions from our conversations. I like to have an unplanned raw conversations where the guest will speak from their heart, and they will then draw experiences left, right, center for us to have a good conversation that is not filtered at all. So from, from the grades to everywhere that we've pinpointed and we've picked from, it's not planned or anything. And this is what I love about changing the narrative, where you will get the right information right from the source, and not somebody's going to read and here to pour out. These are people's personal journeys, and they're here to sort of share it with us, for us to take on board how to also use that and add more to it, to give us that motivation that we need, to give us that education that we need, to give us that information that we would need in our preparation during the whole process of studying abroad. So Victoria, thank you very much. You've
Welcome.
The last point of how to answer these questions, I've actually taken a lot out of it, on how you were just flowing, and I'm just here sat here, I'm thinking, you know what, if I was the interviewer, say no more, you've got it.
Of
Like
course.
say no more, like you're just, and these are examples that you've just brought from now. So
Mm,
imagine if you had, if you're preparing, and I could sense that you've mastered the star approach as well. I don't know how you took it from your networking with, say, the president, and it's the nothing beats a storytelling. Like,
mm,
storytelling is one way that you can draw people to you.
yeah.
You you can draw people to you, and the evidence are always there as well when it comes to storytelling. So
Let
it's
people
one thing.
feel you. That's it.
Yeah,
Like, let them feel
yeah.
you. Let them understand. Let them feel your presence. Like, just
Mhm.
being there. You
Yeah.
can. I feel. I think that sometimes we struggle a bit in answering the question because we feel like the answers we might have might not meet the right criteria or might not answer them. The point is that just give it a shot because you
Mm,
cannot get to that interview. I don't know. And there's, I said, Master, you cannot say this. Like, you cannot sit there and tell me you don't have an idea. No, you have an idea. Tell me what it is. Tell me.
mm,
And when you do that, they now start saying something. I was like, okay, oh, so you have this idea. So it's about trying to release the things that you feel like, oh, it's not. It is
mm,
actually the things they are looking for. But how do you turn it around? How do you bring it in a way that you are able to answer them for them to see that, oh, you're not just speaking for maybe you've just read this thing from the book,
mhm,
but it's something you have practicalized. It's something you have done. You do it every day. So now when you are speaking, they want to really listen. And one other thing you can do, for example, if you finish answering the question, you can ask them, I hope it did meet your, if they need further up, sometimes when you do that, they can ask you, oh, could you clarify this? Sometimes you can,
mm,
it's not all the questions, but sometimes you can ask, oh, I hope I answered your question. Then they would want to say, oh, you did answer, but I wanted to really understand from the point of networking with peers. Oh, then say, okay, networking with peers, then you
mm,
can re-echo the things you had said, or maybe if that was just a specific one, go back to what they intended or what they wanted to really solicit from you. So I feel like just be you,
mm,
and practice as much as possible. Don't go there thinking that you might answer some question, you might not answer the question. No.
mm,
um you should even not 100%, but you should be prepared to answer the questions. That's
mm.
you can't go to an interview and tell them you don't have an idea. No idea. That the era of no idea is not. I
It's
don't feel
gone.
like, yes,
Mm,
I don't feel like this is a point where you need to say that no idea. At least there should be some sort of idea. Show them
mm,
that this is what you know, this is what you think, this is what you've tried. You at least just try something. And always, like I said, I'll restate it again. Try to bring it back to where your expertise is. Try to bring the question back to where you feel more comfortable answering it.
mm,
They might ask you the question that it might look like it's quite big. You say, okay, it's big, but what is my expertise? My expertise is
mm,
within let's say plumbing. My expertise is within let's say mathematics. My expertise is within this. How do I bring it back to mathematics? How do I bring it back to? And then when you ask yourself those questions, immediately you see that you might have some ideas. So when you begin to start talking, sometimes you might ask them, could you repeat that? It's not like you don't heard it, you've heard it, but you're just preparing your thoughts just to answer them back, like you just to give them a very good answer. Then immediately you prepare your thoughts and you just flow with the question. Just be you. Just flow.
Yeah.
It's fine. You just
Just be you.
it's fine.
Again, just be you. And yeah, nobody can be you as best as you can be you. So go and be yourself. Be you. And a lot of the time you can't go wrong with being you. Is when you try too hard to be something that you're not. That's
Mm.
where the cracks start showing. So we're bringing this to an end. I've shared Victoria's LinkedIn handle on in the comments. So kindly connect with her. She knows what she's doing. She knows what she's saying. And I'm sure if you go with a specific question,
I like that.
she will be she will be willing to help you with a specific answer. So please get reading. Consider Chevening. I would say start with it. You never know. Start with it if you're if especially whether you've done this before or you're in the process or not. Chevening is a good one to consider with all the what it comes with, and the UK application as well with universities. There's loads of universities and loads of what is it the programs that they support as well. It's not really restricted as much as some of the scholarships out there where it's STEM alone or this alone or that alone. Chevening is actually very broad in terms of what you can study, so consider it. And then we wish you all the best. Do your homework. Read, read, read. Go and read, go and read. And then come if you need any support, we'll be here to help you out. My name is Afua. I'm your lovely host. Don't mind me. I just want the best for you. Go and read. And I've been here with Victoria, who is an alumni of Chevening. She's doing an amazing job. She's doing amazingly great with volunteering with the youth, and doing a whole great. Just follow her on LinkedIn. Have If you have any questions with Chevening or even studying in the UK, ask her. She's done other applications before. Those that brutally rejected her. Guess what? She's not a Chevening alumni. So it's your loss. Chevening won. Yeah. So this has been a great conversation. So Victoria, your last words to people that are now starting the journey, that have
Hmm.
done this and almost given up, but not just Chevening, but as in the whole process as it is, and those that need a little bit of motivation. What are your last words for them?
Hmm. Now I'm like a motivational speaker, but Charlie,
Yes.
the journey there is tough. Let me just be PG. It is tough. Like we are all giving up. Being up, you can be giving up. So if you are giving up, it's not like it's bad. We cannot give up. We cannot give up. But the point is that where we have gotten to, do you think you can give up? That's my question. Like, is I want to give up. It's not like me and you, we are all the same. We all want to give up, unless we want to give up. But Charlie, where we have come, like you cannot give up here. You have come for at least, if for nothing at all, you are not where you used to be yesterday. There has been some sort of change. If not just change within like your pocket, you've seen change within the friends. And I feel like that's something we fail to understand. Not just hello Efwa, can you hear me?
Yeah, you're still on. Right. I'm sure she'll come back.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness, sorry, it's a quite again. I'm saying that we've, if for nothing at all, one of the things you need to understand is the kind of people, even not if not where you want to go to, at least your association has changed,
Mm.
your network has changed. The people you see, if for nothing at all, you're able to post on LinkedIn, you're able to post on social media just for something, to say that, oh, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And also see that as a growth, and the fact that you are not where you used to be doesn't mean that you are where you were initially. You have changed. So see that if you have changed or you have moved from that place, there's some sort of hope where you are going to. Always not lost. If they bounced you, hey, if you want someone to motivate you on bouncing, if why is there, she's been bounced. I always say,
A
I
whole
always
child
say
of God.
the she rebounds, and I kept recently I reapplied myself and one of other colleague. We applied for something, and then she came back. She said, Victoria, Victoria, I know you got. I say, I got what? What did you? Because she said, oh, Victoria, I know you get it. I know you get it. You have this thing, this.
Mm.
I said, what? Sorry, you said I got what? What happened? Tell me what happened to you. She said, oh, they sent me an unfortunately email, so I know you definitely got. I said, ah. Don't start. I didn't get it. That's the point. Let me
Oh.
be real. I didn't get it. I didn't get it. But that's a kind of expectation. Like, oh, you are here or you are there. So you might no, you sometimes you might get some of them, you might not get it. But Charlie, the thing is that we move. So the fact
Mm.
that I'm not getting A doesn't mean I can't get B. Maybe A might not be working so much for me. And one of the scholarship I said I didn't get is one of those scholar. I mean, I feel like when it comes to the ranking, I feel like Chevening would come even higher, but it's still one of those world leaders like the global
Mm.
scholarship. But I didn't get doesn't mean I should have. If I had ended it, then that would have been my story of I was bounced and I didn't get it. But when I applied and now Chevening is like a global, is that what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Is that what I'm saying? Like, I got Chevening and you can get other scholarship.
Girl.
You know, you can get other scholarship. If you ask what I've mentioned, if you ask what he gets. If I didn't get to Erasmus, I got to Chevening. So the point is that if you don't go through Chevening, which I'm hoping you get to, if you don't go through Chevening, Erasmus is the put a bouncy. Other scholar
Mm.
that is there. There are
Mm.
quite a number of good scholarships around. Don't hold yourself back. Maybe stepping in the stone might pave way for you. So just I mean, stepping in the water might pave way for you. So you never know. Just step into, just apply. After all, what is it if they bounce you? What is it if they say no to you? Is it written
Mm.
anywhere? It's part of the story. It's part of the encouragement. So just apply. Just put yourself out there and prepare ahead. Like prepare ahead, prepare ahead, prepare. I cannot emphasize this in much. Like prepare ahead, pay the time, break it down, like break the things down. Just ask people, also speak to people, engage with people. But you also, when you're doing the, like Afua said, just go with some targeted question, because Charlie, a lot of people have a lot of, you also, you have a lot of things running, because now the application is doing enough for you. So
Mm.
you would want people to have the time for you. So just go with some sort of targeted question so that people can respond to you. But the least they can do is to, I mean, I think the worst that can happen is just say no. But no, you've seen no, so just go try. I don't know what's other best way to say to you, but
Yeah.
just try it. Just try it. That's what I can say. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Victoria. I agree with Victoria. Just try it. If Shivnan doesn't work for you, Erasmus might work. And the thing is, you know what? Even if you don't get these main scholarships, most, if not all, these universities have faculty scholarships, internal scholarships that sometimes international students get automatically um, added to or applied for.
Mm,
Especially if you meet some of the high essentials that they're looking for or desirables that they're looking for. So apply for it.
yeah.
And the thing is, even if you're getting no's from scholarships or international things, it's not the end of the world, right? All we're saying is try. You never know. It's part of life. No's are part of life. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, if scholarships don't even say no to you, the thing is something else will say no to you.
Yeah.
You are saying no to other people. So, it doesn't, well, sometimes it does, but We cry, we wake up, we move. You understand? And yes, you will be okay. You won't die. Then no one's kill you. So don't be that. Don't say
Yeah,
this.
you cry. You're even killing yourself more than anyone can, because the things,
You understand?
opportunities, no, the opportunities you have let go because you doubted yourself, or the fact
Mhm,
that you felt like you cannot. You even said no to yourself. So the no's, you know that it's not someone saying it. You have said no to yourself by even saying I won't apply. You said no to yourself,
mhm.
right? You
Yes.
said no to yourself by saying that, oh, these are just for some category, like I was saying, like category of some people. You said no to yourself. So
You
the no cry,
rejected
you start
yourself.
from you.
Ah,
Nah, you've even been rejecting yourself for like over and
embarrassing.
over.
Where
So
embarrassing. Go and read and apply for that scholarship. We will be here to push you. Okay.
we will see you. We will see you.
Right. Thank you so much, Victoria. So my name
Okay,
is
so
Amponsa. Thank you all for staying with us. Christian says, Madam Read. Yes, Christian, go and read. In fact, go and read.
very important.
It is. It is. It's very important. I can't stress that enough. 2025, read. Go and read for all these opportunities, what they're asking for, how and who you can approach to help you. And trust me, you will get somebody because they would know that you're really ready and willing to, do the right thing. So yes, 2025, maybe 2024, you got nose, and 2025 you feel like you're tired of the nose. Guess what? You're not doing yourself any favor.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be that person. You cry and we move. Me cry, I'm crying with the no, and I'm moving. So we move, okay? We cry together, we move together, we'll be fine.
Yeah.
And yes, so yeah, all that we're saying is just don't give up until you get your yes. The yes will come, but you will never get it if you don't apply for it. If well, you're rejecting yourself by if you don't apply for it, you're rejecting yourself,
Mm-hmm.
especially when you know you're capable. So don't do that. Don't do that. If everybody is rejecting you, don't reject yourself. God won't be happy with you. I won't be happy with you. Victoria won't be happy with you. Don't do that. Even your mother won't be happy with you. Don't do that. Yeah, so my name is Afua Amponsa, and team leader of AAA Foundation. AAA is a youth-led organization where the team are doing amazingly great impacts. So if you have any skills, if you don't have any skills and you want to learn new skills, join us. Look for us. Type AAA Foundation. Follow us. If there's anything, if you feel like there's a scholarship or there's something that you need to do, some opportunities, but you're not quite having the environment to be able to give or impact, come talk to us. We are always ready and willing to help support the youth to, or even if it's just an idea that you need an environment for it to come to fruition. Join us, come speak with us, and we'll be willing and here and available to push it. And so far as it's going to make an impact, it's going to make you a better individual and bring a positive change to people's life. We're always ready. Victoria is here to also support you in your application, in any advice specific that she can. So her handle is on in the comment section. I'm also here. Hit me up if you need someone to review your SOPs, get in touch, or even take you through the applications as well. This year, AAA would actually have another sort of set of webinars. We've not set the date yet, but it will happen where we will take people through applications, looking for it, where you feel you stand a better chance, and so on and so forth, and even how to start, where to start, and when to start. But it's never too late to start. The time to start was yesterday, but you missed it, so start today. Don't wait till tomorrow. Start now. Go and read, and then we will talk. But anyway, this is Triple F. This is changing the narrative. I'm your lovely host, the Fun Points. I hope you enjoyed it and you learned something from it. You can rewatch this on YouTube. I would say do it because Victoria gave a lot of good examples that you can take, or just cut that little bit, listen to it over and over again, and see how you can apply it to your writing, to your answers. And I know that it would help you in your application. So thank you very much for spending your evening with us. And same time next month, don't know the exact date yet, but it will come very soon with USA, all these changes and cuts, and the implications and how it's affecting these applications. Don't be afraid. Trump will still give you some money, but you have to look for it at the right places. So Honorable Kweku Trump is causing commotion, but we will still win. Child of God, go and pray, go and read, and you'll be fine. God bless. Take care.
God bless
Bye
you.
for now. Thank you,
Bye.
Victoria.
Bye. Thank you very much. You're
Have a
fine.
good evening. See you.